practical wisdom. Join us as we transform the world one woman at a time. Women of Grace, for such a time as this. Now, here's your host, Johnnette Williams.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Women of Grace Live. I am Johnnette Williams, very happy to be with you today. I am eager to hear from you today. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It is a Wednesday. Yes, it is, and that means it's a Wacky Wednesday. Sue Brinkman is with us. We talk about the weird and the wacky on this day, all of the strange things that we see happening in the culture today, some of which can make us chuckle, but many of which can make us really concerned. And we're going to be talking about some of the concerning things that we're seeing happening today. All of that being said, we are eager to get your questions and your comments. You can give us a call and share with us right here on the air. The number to use if you're in North America is a toll-free one. It's 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. If you are outside of North America, your number is country code 1-205-271-2985. Let me give you that again. It's country code 1-205-271-2985. Both of those numbers available to you. And of course, the toll-free one, once again, if you're here in North America, 833-288-EWTN. Matthew Gabensky will take your calls. He'll get you up on the board, and we will be able to chit-chat with you. Now, who's the we? It's me and Sue Brinkman. Sue is with us every Wednesday as we talk about these weird and wacky things that we see. We are the wonderful women of Wacky Wednesday. How's that? I love alliteration. In addition to that, we're available for you out there at EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Simply use the chat feature there. Put in your question or comment, your insight, inspiration, or word of encouragement. Pedro Quiles will retrieve it and put it up on the board. Be sure to give us your name and tell us where you're located. If you're not listening to us via EWTN Radio's YouTube channel or Facebook page, let us know how that is. Also can text us. Oh, yes, you can. Text the letters EWTN to 58177. Wait for our response. Put in your question or comment. Tell us who you are, where you are, how you're listening. And again, we'll get that retrieved and up on the board. Do know that message and data rates may apply if you choose to use that option. Again, the toll-free number, 833-288-3986. Do like to let you know what's happening out there in Women of Grace land. I do that in this first block every single morning. And I'll tell you why, because we really want for you to know that we offer you all kinds of great, valuable resources to help you live the abundant life of our Lord Jesus Christ and to share it with others, and really to help you understand and dig more deeply into this great mystery and treasure that is ours by way of the church that Jesus Christ founded. So we invite you to check out our website, womenofgrace.com. Women of Grace is all one word, plural on the women, womenofgrace.com. And do know that this evening, no, actually, I think it's today. Let me just check the time on this for you. We have the beginning of our Who is Mary online study. It is the first in our series called Moments with Mary. And it's a beautiful, beautiful program. And I can assure you that it is something that is really going to be beneficial for you in your life. It's actually going on right now, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, running until 1 p.m. But that's 2 hours. After our program is over, perhaps you can join up and share with the women next week. You can get your materials right by going to our website, womenofgrace.com. You'll need the study book. It doesn't cost you anything, of course, to attend the sessions, but the study book is a necessity. We're eager for you to find out more about this beautiful program and all of the studies that we offer to you, including our foundational study. Women of Grace foundational study is Full of Grace, Women in the Abundant Life. It's a beautiful, beautiful study. So many women, tens of thousands of women really, have come into a deeper recognition and understanding of who they are as the daughters of the Most High God, and also a deeper appreciation and love for their faith and a deeper relationship and love for our Lord Jesus Christ, helping us to enter into a deeper relationship with Him. So all of that is available for you at our website. Now, tomorrow we've got something else going on for you. Tomorrow, we are going to have an evening of grace, and this is going to begin at, let's see, the 13th. Evening of Grace begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and runs until 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I always look it up, and yet it's always at the same time. It's always 7 p.m. Eastern Time and runs until 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a great way for you to become acquainted with Women of Grace and what we do. Two of our regional coordinators will be leading this online opportunity. Linda DeGonzaga and Denise McCain will be leading it. Two wonderful women of grace who are regional coordinators, as I mentioned to you. It doesn't cost you any money to join. You can simply begin by registering. It's not too late to register. Register today and join us. You'll get all the information. Join us there. You'll need to give us your email address so we can send you the contact information, which is basically the connection to Zoom, which is the way that we conduct these meetings. And it's just going to be great. And they're going to be talking about a wonderful topic. The topic is winning the spiritual battle. We're going to find out about the spiritual battle that we're in our program today with Sue. But winning the spiritual battle, the theme is by emulating the Blessed Mother's virtues, we join her in the spiritual battle. And the grace we're praying for is I pray for the grace to acquire humility of heart and repentance to strengthen us or strengthen me in the spiritual battle. So get out there to our website, womenofgrace.com, and check it out. Want to mention once again that I am going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So looking forward to this. Actually in the Charleroi area, which is south of the city. And I'm going to be there on June the 7th for a wonderful opportunity. It's a Pentecostal event hosted by Women of Grace and Praise Nation. We're going to have a men's track and a female track, a women's and a men's track. It's going to be lovely. The day will include presentations. It will include lunch. It'll include dinner. We're going to have a Pentecost vigil mass. We're going to offer confession. There will be adoration, and there'll be a praise service with Praise Nation. And it's going to be just really a marvelous event. I will be presenting to the women. Mike Aquilina, one of my favorite people, is going to be presenting to the men. I will also address the men for a talk, and Mike will address the women for a talk. It's going to be beautiful. Pastor of St. Andrew Catholic Church is Father Levi Hartle and Joseph Jacobs of Praise Nation. The two of them are involved in Praise Nation, and I think it's going to be lovely. Want to mention this, too, because this is quite special. There will be a special Haitian Creole track that will be available as well, that's going to be led by Father Pierre-Marie France. So you really ought to spread the good word if you're in the Pittsburgh area, or if you're anywhere in Pennsylvania, or in the tri-state area, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. They're kissing cousins there on the border. And so we invite you to join us. Come find out about it. Get out to our website, womenofgrace.com. We would love to have you. I am so eager for this. So eager. Looking forward to it with such great anticipation. It's out there for you. You can register online. Join us for this beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Well, more to come on the other side of our break. Sue Brinkman is with us today. We're going to talk about some things that are really upsetting. So, if you get upset easily, maybe if your blood pressure tends to rise, maybe not the show for you. But I do want to tell you it's an important discussion that we're going to be having, so I hope that you will stay with us. We want you to call us here with your questions or comments. We'll take them on anything having to do with the New Age, or with the spiritual battle, or with the occult, which is part of the New Age. All of that being said, here's the number toll free for you, 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page available too. Coming right back. Stay with us.
The month of March is devoted to honoring Saint Joseph. Since Saint Joseph was the foster father of Jesus, he was continually working for his family, the Holy Family, providing for them and protecting them. Saint Joseph is the patron saint of the Universal Church, unborn babies, families, fathers, those seeking employment, realtors, and a happy death. Join in this devotion to Saint Joseph with novenas, prayers, art, books, gifts, rosaries and chaplets, statues and nativity sets. Available at EWTNRC.com.
Enhance your Lenten journey with EWTN's National Catholic Register. Readers rely on the Register for faithful and insightful coverage of the Catholic Church, making it a vital resource in our mission for the new evangelization. Rooted in a catechetical framework, the Register delivers trusted analysis, illuminating the news through the lens of the Church rather than the shifting lens of the world. Let the Register be your hope-filled companion in this sacred season of renewal and throughout the year as you embrace powerful contemplation on the events of our lives. Subscribe to the Register today and get 1 year for the greatly discounted price of just $32.50. That's 26 issues delivered to your home, office, or parish. Simply order online at ncregister.com/radio or call 800-421-3230 and mention code radio. The National Catholic Register. Read faithfully.
So if you see somebody who's made a wreck of their lives, go to help. Assist them in some way. Journey with them. See that we too are in need of that grace. Forgive as you have been forgiven.
EWTN, your Lenten companion.
Well, my goodness sakes, you hear that music, and that always lets you know that it's Wednesday, because Wednesday's here on Women of Grace Live. It's Wacky Wednesday, and Sue Brinkman is with us. She is our New Age researcher. She digs deeply, deeply, deeply into research to help us to understand what is of the Lord and what isn't when it comes to many of the ideologies and the modalities that are in our midst today, the practices that people are participating in that just make you want to smack yourself upside the head and say, what are they thinking? It's really, really amazing to me how people get tripped up, and it's because they don't know the truth from the falsehood. And so what we want to do is to expose that, right? We want to expose the truth, right? We want to expose the falsehood. We want to expose you to the truth so that you can understand the counterfeit, recognize the counterfeit when you see it. Even if you don't understand, everything about it, you might say, this just sounds a little off to me. Whenever that thought crosses your mind, or whenever you just have this inkling, way down deep in the bottom of your soul that says, I don't know about this, chances are you are up against something that has some heresy in it, or has, really occult ties. So we dedicate this day to answering your questions about such matters. We've got some things that we want to talk about today. I do want you to give us a call here with your questions and comments. We'll take them on anything related to this topic area. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. It's a toll-free number for you here in North America. And Matthew Gubensky will answer the phone, take your information, and get you up on the board, and then we'll be able to talk with you right here on Women of Grace Live. We're also available for you out there at EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Simply use the chat feature there. Put in your information, and we'll get that retrieved. Pedro Quiles doing the retrieving. You can text us as well. Text the letters EWTN to the numbers 58177. Wait for our response. Tell us who you are, where you are, and how it is that you're listening. Don't forget to put your message in there. And do know that data rates and message rates may apply. Gracious sakes. All of those words need to come out so that we can give you all of the information that you need to have. So all that being said, that toll-free number for you again is 833-288-3986. Well, Sue Brinkman, how are you?
I am doing wonderful today, considering some of the bad news that we've had to deal with this week so far. It's been a pretty nasty week as far as they come, as far as demonic stuff.
I know.
Right out there on the airwaves, they're just making this into a bunch of nothing. That's how they present it. Oh, isn't this cute? These little things that are going on out there. No, they're not. Black masses are not funny. And what was going on Saturday Night Live this past weekend was definitely not funny either.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about that? Because, not everybody had heard about it. I hadn't heard about it. I don't watch Saturday Night Live. And I don't really regularly, go out to a lot of the social media sites, but something really off-putting occurred and something that should make us sit up in our chair very, very straight. And I say, okay, I've got to take notice of this, and I've got to really, really get my rosary out, and I've got to pray.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, you have to. This was Lady Gaga who appeared. She actually hosted the show on Saturday night. And one of the skits that she presented to the people was being in a Friendly's Diner restaurant. Everybody up on the East Coast knows what a Friendly's Diner is. It's a very, very family-friendly type of a place. She went in the diner, and there was a group of people in there. One of the girls, I forgot what name Heidi Gardner. She was the one who was playing her on Saturday Night Live. She was playing a girl named Jenny who lied about it being her birthday. Because at Friendly's, everybody knows you get free sundaes and cake when it's your birthday. So she lied about it. And Lady Gaga was playing a role of Daphne, the waitress, and she didn't believe her. And she decides, she says to her, "Do you swear to all the gods and all the heavens that this day, the 8th of March, is your true birthday?" And Jenny, still insists, "Yes, it is." Well, then Daphne and the staff decide they're going to punish her. And this is how Rolling Stone is not exactly a conservative publication. This is how they describe what happened. They say the Friendly staff, now dressed in red cloaks, summoned the demon Lamashtu, smear blood on Jenny, and awaken Mola Ram. That's the leader of the cult from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And as in that film, Mola Ram sacrifices Jenny in a cage, destined for the flames, but not before ripping out her heart, which is then served with ice cream on top to her Sunday-seeking friends. This was the skit that they put on. And they're all in the red garb, looking demonic, all the blood's everywhere. Now, Lamashtu, I looked up her. Who is she? Who is this Lamashtu? She's a female demon. She comes from ancient Mesopotamian religions. Here's what she used to do. She is considered the most terrible of all female demons. She slays children. She drinks the blood of men and eats their flesh. She causes pregnant women to miscarry and brings diseases and sickness. Ooh, what a nice person, a demon to be invoking in a friendly restaurant. It was awful. The blood was everywhere in this scene. It was terrible. But the interesting thing to me, and what I thought was kind of encouraging to me, was that it was roundly panned on X. Nobody liked this. For every one positive response about it, there were 5 that said, "Hey, this is not funny at all." Even the Guardian media outlet reported the skit falls on the wrong side of goofy. Parody, this is one user on X said, "Parody devil worship is still devil worship. I won't even watch this thing." And then another comment said, "These people are sick and they try to get us to laugh about it." A longtime user of SNL says, "I've been watching SNL for decades, but I had to turn the TV off." And then another one put it very, very succinctly, "Not funny at all." The entertainment industry is definitely in need of serious prayer. One user warned, he said, "Jesus will return, and when he does, he's stopping by Hollywood." So this is the kind of stuff that this is not funny. And okay, it's pretty much an adult audience that kind of redeems it in a way, that at least it wasn't for kids. But as you can see, even the adults in the room did not like it. They didn't like it. And everything was very authentic, the way she was summoning them. She wasn't making that up. That was real.
Well, no, and here's the thing. The very best comment that could be made about it is that it's tasteless. It lacks taste. It lacks, good reasoning skills. It lacks all consideration for other people. That's the best that can be said. The worst that can be said is that it is, in fact, a toy in the hands of the evil one. And what you know and what I know and what we talk about a lot here on the air is the fact that these demonic realities simply hide behind these names and these false constructs that are created. These are the fallen angels from heaven that do the bidding of the evil one himself, Satan, and certainly can inflict through their absolute heinous action all kinds of negative things in the lives of people. Now, this does not mean that we should be afraid of them. We shouldn't be. We should have a healthy respect for them in the sense that we know that they're very powerful. We also know that the blood of the Lamb has triumphed, that our Lord's passion, death, and resurrection, has basically overcome the power of evil and the power of darkness, death itself. But that doesn't mean that those evil presences have lost their power, nor that they will not use that power to create havoc in our lives. It was tasteless. I can't even know how that got past the review committee or the editorial board, if they even, invoke an editorial board. I don't know how they function there, but oh my goodness, that is such an affront. It's a degradation. It's an absolute degradation of what humor is meant to be.
And it's why. Why do you need this? Lady Gaga loves that shock value in everything she does. And why? She's a very talented singer and musician. She doesn't need to go into these realms and to bring down, and call down these spirits, even if she says it's just in jest. Well, to her, it's just in jest. But hey, the devil doesn't play nice, and he doesn't play games. When you call upon him, he comes down. God only knows who answered that. Who answered that? Of course, we know there isn't a Lamashtu, but there's a demon who would answer to that name of Lamashtu, and hide behind that name. God only knows what she brought down upon that cast, upon that place, the studio where they were in. But people were so freaked out about it, they were turning the TV off.
Yeah.
So,
the place needs to be exercised at this point for all kinds of reasons, but for that one primarily. Well, the thing of it is too, Sue, that the cultural elite of Hollywood and the entertainment industry, many of the women are involved in all of these occult practices. I don't know that Lady Gaga is in particular. I don't know enough about her to be able to make that statement. But I do know that others are very public about it, and they are involved in those kinds of activities. I think that they, in some way, think that this is, I don't know. I don't know what they think, that it gives them power, or it gives them control, or it makes them feel superior to the rest. I mean, those would all be things that the evil one would want to stir up in the human heart.
Absolutely, and he finds a ready audience in Hollywood, because these are all people who need to get out there. They're nice big egos. We just reported a few weeks ago on that girls' night out that was Jessica Alba throwing the party for Kerry Washington, the actress.
There you go.
Remember that? They had the spirit daughter there. I've since written a blog about spirit daughter. This is all based on astrology, on turning to the moon and letting the different sequences of the moon guide your life and help you in your decisions. Very, very into manifesting and journaling and this sort of thing. So, they're really into this. It's trendy for them. It's like they're maybe 10 years ago now, Kabbalah, the red bracelets for Kabbalah. That was a big thing. They were all into that. And so they kind of go along with whatever's trendy, but I guess they don't realize that, or maybe they do realize and they don't care, that you can get yourself in trouble dabbling around with this stuff. The devil doesn't care what your intentions are. He could care less if you mean it or not. He doesn't care about that. As long as you call upon him, he comes. He only works in the objective. He could care less about the objective or subjective. It's always, you called upon him, he comes.
Yeah.
Well, so maybe you think you're fooling around, but he's not.
Well, we oftentimes point out the fact that the evil one is very legalistic, and that when we summon him, invite him by name or by participation in these kinds of activities, even if it's for spoof or whether or not we just think it's for fun, like, going into a psychic tent at a state fair or something like that, even if we think it's that, he doesn't care, as you're saying. He's very legalistic. You called me, I come. I have a right to be here now. And that's the thing that we don't understand, is that when, through jest or through intention, he is summoned, he has a right to be there. You've opened the door, and that door has got to be closed. And through the grace of God and through our Catholic Church, we have the means to close that door. First of all, a good solid confession, also deliverance prayer is available. And if it's necessary, which it rarely is, an exorcism, the rite of exorcism, which is a sacramental. So we've got the means to, try to undo what's been done. Not only try, it can be effective, but there's always, residual effects. And I want to talk about this because we've talked to so many people, Sue, that have come out of such things, even yoga and situations like this. But there tends to be a bit of a residual effect, though they're freed spiritually. Oftentimes the emotions and the psychology have got to catch up with that.
Oh, that's so true. And they suffer with these things for years, if not forever. Mm-hmm. After they become involved in it. They say this, that I know one person who was involved in the occult, it described it that way. He said there's like a dark spot on his soul. Mm. And when he would read certain things or hear certain things on television, like if he had seen this skit, that it just made him feel all upset and like he knew that this was coming from the occult. Yep. It was almost like there was like a brand on him, that it had branded him in some way. That he would react whenever he heard something, read something that he knew was connected to the occult. He could never forget it. So in a way, he could use it as a good thing because he could say, hey, that's occult, stay away from it. But on the other hand, he was plagued by that. Yes. He was plagued for that for years after getting out of these things. So you're right, there are residual effects. And look at what it does to your life, what it does to your relationships with people. Yeah. When you're involved in all kinds of occult things and you become estranged from your family, from your friends. It can ruin your life, which is what the devil wants. That's what he wants, is to ruin you.
And I think that you are right about all of that. I think that there is a heightened sensitivity to such things like that, which can be quite upsetting. It can. What it does is, that the memory of what you've been involved in is stirred up. And when there is an emotion that's related to a memory, it sears itself into the subconscious, and all of that gets brought up again. It doesn't mean that you're actively participating in it anymore, but that can get stimulated, and it takes healing. And that's the other part of it. The rite of exorcism, exorcism is not a one-time deal. And you've told us time again, it often takes, a minimum of 2 to 4 years. And then, many sessions, it can go on depending upon the level of involvement and the number of demons that have infested a person because of, the access that they've had to that person through these various kinds of activities, practices, modalities, even the ideologies. And, so that can go on for quite some time. But there's also a healing component to that, and sometimes we need to be healed, of those memories. We need to invite Jesus into those memories themselves and go through a process of restoration and healing in all of those areas, which can quell the residual effects of that.
Absolutely, it can. I know so many who have remarked that when they read the Harry Potter books, it just freaks them out. Just like, this is absolutely the occult. What's going on in those books?
Well, it is, and we know that. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we took it on the chin for years about the Harry Potter books because everybody thought they were so great. And I've read them, and I just think they're nice. And, it's good. We want our children to read, and this is good literature. It's not good literature. The spells in there are actual spells. So it's like, I don't think that we want to expose our children to such things. We have to be very careful. Parents and teachers, those that have any kind of custodial responsibility, guardianship for children, have to protect them, protect their little minds, nurture them in the way in which they should go, form them in a positive and holy direction, not deform them according to the maxims of the world and the wily tactics of the evil one. Well, we are here for you. We are going to get to Lorraine and Joni, and our phone lines are open for you too. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. We've got Pedro Quiles collecting your questions at EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Use the chat feature. We're coming right back. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Father Mike Schmitz. Please join me for Ascension's Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year here on EWTN Radio. We're going through the entire Bible and the Catechism in 365 days. If you've ever wanted to understand what it means to be Catholic and allow those truths to shape your life, this is for you.
Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on EWTN Radio.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
Levi Strauss is one of the most recognizable names, primarily known for its jeans. What you may not know is the company voraciously advocates for unlimited abortion in America and around the world. The Levi Strauss Foundation lists abortion as one of its 4 main issues that it funds. We're talking about a zealous advocacy of promoting the intentional killing of innocent human babies in the womb. It also works to advance worker and immigrant rights. But what Levi Strauss fails to recognize is that without the right to life, there is no right to housing, education, health care, or anything else. They're all useless without the right to life. The next time I purchase a pair of jeans, I'll keep their radical pro-abortion advocacy in mind because I love the babies.
Follow us on Facebook at Life Issues Institute and stay informed, more informed than you've ever been. For over 40 years, EWTN has been praying with and for people throughout the world. Today we want to pray for anything that weighs on your heart. Send us your prayer request at EWTN.com/prayer.
Hi, this is Cy Keller. We hope you'll join us and bring your questions later today on Catholic Answers Live. We've got answers. Catholic Answers Live, 6 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio. Now back to Women of Grace with Johnnette Williams.
Join in on the conversation. The Women of Grace phone lines are open. 1-833-288-EWTN. 1-833-288-3986.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Women of Grace Live. I am Johnnette Williams. Happy to be with you today. Oh, my goodness. We've got a full boat of calls. We've got one line available still, so jump on in there and grab it. We, of course, will be freeing up lines as we take the calls today. That toll-free number for you is 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. That's the way that you can join us here. Also, you can join us through the chat feature at EWTN Radio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Pedro Quiles will collect your question. Matthew Gubensky will answer your calls today and get you on the board. Rich Jesse is producing away right there on the campus of EWTN in the radio studio. Sue is providing us with great information there outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am right here in Birmingham, Alabama, and we're happy you are with us regardless of where you are. Well, Sue, let's get to these phone lines. Lorraine called in immediately as the show was going on the air, and she has been so patient. She is in Massachusetts. She is a first-time caller, listening to us via Station of the Cross, ringing my first-time caller bell for you, Lorraine. And friends, if you are a first-timer, either through submission or call, let us know, and I'll do the same for you. I'll ring that bell for you. Good morning to you, Lorraine.
Good morning, Johnnette. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, I want to thank you both for all that you do for the Lord. You're both such a blessing.
Oh, may God be praised. We hope so. We want to be. Yes. And we all should aspire to such, to that goal, because that's what God wants us to be, to serve each other, right? To be brother and sister in Christ to each other. So what is your question today?
Okay, so a friend of mine sees a chiropractor that does kinesiology. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly. And she is trying to convince me to go to see this chiropractor, but I really don't know what that kinesiology is really about. She touches part of your body and then says, oh, you suffer from such and such. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, we can help you out with that, Lorraine. Go for it, Sue.
Yeah. That's actually, it's called applied kinesiology. Kinesiology itself that's just the science of human movement, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you hear applied kinesiology, what that means is something called muscle testing. And that's what this chiropractor is doing, is an alternative therapy. And it's based on the notion that every organ dysfunction in your body is accompanied by specific muscle weakness. And that's how they use like your arm. They'll press on your arm and they'll tell you, oh, okay, your bicep is weak, so there's something wrong with your liver or whatever. This is what they do to try to use this to diagnose illnesses in that. This is absolutely no scientific credibility behind it. It has been tested. Scientifically, it hasn't been found completely lacking. The results are due to nothing more than chance. So this is not an approved form of medical intervention. It should not be used. It's an alternative that should not be used for anything life-threatening or contagious. Chiropractors are very famous for using this. Not all of them do, of course, but it's famously associated with a lot of chiropractors are into this muscle testing, and it really does not have any scientific backing at all. I would just stay away from it. And also, it has to do with balancing those what they call body energies, but they say to balance them along median pathways. Now, medians in the body, this is traditional Chinese medicine, and this is believed to be the pathways that this putative form of energy, qi, ki, prana, this is how it travels through your body, is through these medians. And so it's also associated with that, which is part of a pantheistic belief system. So I would stay away from it. I would not have anything to do with that chiropractor. I mean, obviously your friend, maybe she's just trying to be nice, and maybe she found some relief in it or whatever. But whatever is going on there with that muscle testing is not something that I would get involved in at all.
Yeah. And you might want to tell her, Lorraine, about this. And I know that if you go out to our New Age blog, which Sue does the research for and writes, you're going to find articles there on kinesiology that you might be able to present to her. And, so you talk about, maybe receiving some benefit. But typically that benefit is a placebo effect as opposed to something that's coming from the therapy itself, because there is no scientific evidence that shows that it does anything for us. So there is that, Lorraine. But you might do a little bit more research, and the best place to go, I think, for New Age research is our website. Just go out to womenofgrace.com. You'll see it there right on the homepage, or you can access it directly by going to newage.womenofgrace.com, and that will take you straight there. And there's a search feature, and you can put kinesiology, into the search engine, and the articles will come up on it. Now, Sue also provides us with a podcast that is archived in our library underneath, podcasts. When you open that up, you'll see different tiles, and one of them is podcast. It's called Grace Under Fire, Exposing the Darkness. Click on that. I don't know, Sue, if you've got an article up there on kinesiology or not, but you'll find a lot of useful information there, Lorraine.
It's under muscle testing. So when you look on the both on the blog and the podcast, I believe there is a podcast on muscle testing. Look it up under the term muscle testing, and that will give you a whole lot of information. Plus, it gives you links to other places that you can go and read about it. So you'll get a nice comprehensive view of the subject just by checking out that one blog on muscle testing.
Excellent. Well, Lorraine, thank you for your question today, and thank you for being a first-time caller. I always am thrilled to get someone new who calls in to share some time with us. Thank you, Lorraine.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you, too. Bye-bye now. We've got Joni with us. Joni is in Boston, Massachusetts today, listening to us also via Station of the Cross. We're delighted that Joni's with us. Good morning to you, Joni.
Hi, Johnnette and Sue. It's so good to talk to you. I'm calling because I have a wonderful friend who's a very devout Catholic, and she doesn't like vaccines and stuff, but, she's cautious and uses homeopathy. But I was talking to her about the danger of qi, and she totally was against what I was saying. And I said that, there's no scientific fact, and she believes that there is. So I don't know. I didn't know where else to go. I looked at the blog, but I couldn't find what I was looking for, and I wondered if you could direct me.
Sue?
Can I prove to her that it's not legit?
Yes, Joni, the blog is on energy medicine. That's where it is. It's on energy, ENERGY medicine. And this will explain everything to you and tell you that the kind of energy that she's talking about here has never been proven to exist. And then I give you the information in there of what science has looked at it, who's found it, links to go and research further into it if she would like to do that. But this is from places like the NIH and that the National Institutes of Health. There is nothing to qi, ki, prana. Anything based on that is baseless, pretty much baseless, because that doesn't exist. And I know that people are very into it. It's very new age. That whole concept of this energy force is what they call in the pontifical document, Jesus Christ, the bearer of the word of life, the new age God. Because that's who they believe is running the universe, is this energy. And you tune into the vibrations from this energy to either make things happen with the use of your mind and thinking a certain way, or inviting into your body, into the mediums, or acupuncture points on your body in order to effect healing of some kind, balancing these energies. So, but the energy itself doesn't exist, and we've been looking for it since the days of Sir Isaac Newton. That's the part that always gets to me. We've been looking for this for hundreds of years. And, quantum physics and that, these are the most advanced sciences of their time. They can find an energy if it exists, especially one that people are saying they can manipulate. How can you manipulate something if you can't even measure it? So it's I think if you were to look at it from that point of view, maybe that would help to persuade her. I don't know. If she's too set on it, though, I'm warning you, Joni, she may not give on it. No matter what you tell her, she might not give on it. But what you could do is just maybe give her the blog, let her read it, and say, look, this is, just for you to take that to God and pray on that and stay out of it, because more than likely she won't listen to you. They tend to dig their heels in.
Well, and I want to say too, Joni, that Sue, that's absolutely right. They do dig their heels in, and there's two reasons for it. First of all, because it's something that they really like. It's something that they really like, and they might like it for a lot of reasons. Again, there could be a placebo effect that's involved with this, where they feel as though it's actually bringing something to them, and it could be. But we would have to ask ourselves, well, if the energy doesn't exist and they're getting some benefit from this, what we would call a benefit, then where is that coming from? And because it's an occult practice, we know it's not coming from God. So there's only one other source that it could be coming from, and it would be the demonic. And the demonic has the capacity to affect things in the natural realm, including health and well-being, but not to sustain it. So what generally happens is that the malady intensifies. It comes back at some point in time, and it comes back intensified. That's often what happens. The other thing is that these practices in and of themselves can be quite addictive. And so there could be that type of an addiction to it. A third reason is that, and it's a psychological addiction, primarily. I'm not talking about a physical addiction. It's a psychological addiction. And then the other reason why is because it makes them feel as though they have tuned into something, and that gives them, some kind of insight. It feeds the ego. It feeds the pride. And so there's a type of elitism that it can attend to this. But I also want you, Sue, to talk a little bit about this friend, because she was secondary to what she's involved in, which is homeopathy.
Oh, homeopathy. That's right. She did mention the homeopathy. See, that's another thing that really doesn't have any scientific basis to it whatsoever. Homeopaths believe that water has a memory, and anything that goes into that water, the water will remember it. And so that if they'll put something in there that's supposedly a healing ingredient, whatever, what they do is they put in there the cause of whatever is your ailment, but in such an infinitesimal amount that they say it can't hurt you. Well, the amount that's in there is so infinitesimal, it's not even there. But they're claiming that the fact that it touched that water, that is now a part of the water. But science is saying, hey, that defies the basic laws of physics. It simply is not true. So homeopathy is based on nonsensical beliefs. We have numerous blogs in there on homeopathy, numerous studies that have been done on it. In fact, scientists no longer want to study homeopathy. They no longer want to study it because they said, we've already determined this. We determined this 20 years ago that there is nothing to homeopathy. We don't want to study it anymore. We're done with it. We're done with it. In fact, they did a group over in England because it's very big in England. They have whole hospitals dedicated to it. That's because King Charles is a big follower of homeopathy. So it's big over there. They have a group that they go out there every once in a while, and they'll stand on the corner in London with box loads of homeopathic potions and that in there, and they stand there and drink them, and they drink them all day long, and nothing happens to them. Why? Because it's only water. That's all it is. It's only water. So homeopathy is another thing. If you go out to our blog, just look up homeopathy, and you will find numerous blogs on that subject. And I think it will really help to inform you before you sit down and have a chat with this friend. Hopefully, I don't know if you're good enough friends with her. Can you have a good dialogue, a good back and forth, or is there some animosity there the minute you bring the subject up? Only you could know that, Joni.
Good.
Is there any chance that you could talk with her about these things? Because she's obviously not reading all the information that's available on the subject. She's more than likely just going and reading the websites that are promoting this stuff and not seeing the other side.
I think I can download some of that, print it out.
Yeah.
As I've done in the past and brought to my church. And I can do that and hopefully make a difference.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. It's interesting because, you mentioned homeopathy and you mentioned qi. These things are not necessarily in the same basket of modalities. But what happens is when we open one of these doors, then it becomes very easy to continue to walk through other doors. And there seems to be, I'm going to use the word, a constellation that takes place of New Age practices and techniques in people's lives when they begin to use one of them. And the other thing I wanted to say about homeopathy is why are so many people turning to those kinds of things? It's because they've lost confidence in the medical community. They've lost confidence in the research community. And they believe that it's all a racket. The pharmaceutical companies have not helped in this. I think they've helped to create this almost paranoia, with regularized, standardized medical care. So people search out the what I'm going to call the weird and the wacky to replace it. Hoping to find something else, and generally speaking, they turn to these supposedly natural means of healing. So that's my supposition. I don't know how you feel about that, Joni, or you, Sue, but I do know we've got Vicki with us. I hope that does help you, though, Joni. And do go out there. And we want to invite all of you. Use that blog. All of the articles in there are downloadable. And, you can just present them to somebody and say, hey, listen, you told me you're actively engaged in this. I thought that you ought to, see what these articles state. And just pass them on. I mean, they could throw them away if they want to, but at least you've reached out in some way. And then later on, I would say, did you read those articles? But that's just me. Did you read them? Okay, you're going to have a quiz on the... No. Anyway, I'm jesting, but just a little bit. Let's get to Vicki. She's in Bloomington, Illinois today, and she is listening to us. I'm not really sure how she's listening to us, but I'm going to find out for us right now. She is listening to us through Catholic Spirit Radio. Oh, Vicki, I don't know if you're a first-time caller or not, but I'm ringing my bell for you anyway.
Yes,
How
I'm
are
a
you?
first-time caller.
Oh, good. Then I'll ring it again.
Yeah. I just wanted to make a statement about Harry Potter.
Okay.
There's a lot of people living in the world, that are not, that don't know the faith, that don't know to follow Jesus. They watch things like that, Harry Potter, whatnot. Yeah. There are moments in that movie where, like, for example, where Harry is sitting in front of the mirror looking at his parents in the reflection. And he's sitting there because he doesn't want to leave, because he wants to live in that memory. And Dumbledore comes in and he says, it doesn't do any good to waste your life away sitting in front of a mirror, reminiscing. And I think those moments can be powerful moments for people to realize that, wait a minute, what am I doing? Am I sitting in front of a mirror? There are moments in the movie that really bring out the battle between our fight, good and evil. And I think for people who are not of the faith or living in the world, need to hear those, need to see those, need to be exposed to those so they can wake up and, eventually come to follow Jesus.
Right.
And things like that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I can understand how, within the context of the script writing, et cetera, there might be those, moments where a salient point is made. You're going to find that probably in any kind of script writing for any kind of movie or characterization, regardless of what the total topic is. But what we also know is that one redeeming moment does not redeem the whole context, and it doesn't redeem what's being presented. As a matter of fact, Harry Potter looking in the mirror, if I'm not mistaken, Sue, that in and of itself is an occult practice. I think it's called scree. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% certain.
Screen. Exactly. That's screen. Yep. Exactly.
Is that right?
That's exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Screen. That's what he's doing in that mirror.
Right. And that's an occult. Yeah. And I mean, so I understand, you could say, well, that's, why didn't it show a photograph of the parents, right? Well, they didn't show a photograph because it's not related to the context of the movie. And the context of the movie is to advance occultism. It's to normalize occult activity and to present it in such a way that we have a sympathy for the main character. And so that emotional response to the main character and what's happening cannot coexist with us saying there's something the matter with this movie. So one of the two premises has to fall. Either this is a really good protagonist, or there's a problem with this movie. So, I'm going to use another phraseology that actually comes from Masonic tradition, if you will, and that is being hoodwinked. We're being hoodwinked. We're the emotions are being appealed to in scenes like that make us want to have a sympathetic notion to the main character, which endears, especially for women, because we are mothers at heart. All of us have the tendency towards maternity, whether we ever have children biologically or not. It appeals to that side of our being, and we want to cuddle him and hug him and soothe him. And so now we've got a connection with him. So I know that it sounds like, boy, Johnnette, you really dragged this out in a direction. But the fact of the matter is, that is what's happening emotionally and psychologically. Sue?
Oh, absolutely. The whole book, the whole series on Harry Potter just shows you how clever Satan is. And how he used J.K. Rowling, how he used her talents and that to weave a story. Me being a writer myself and, a fiction writer too, I can see what Vicky's talking about. What she's saying is, if one aspect of it, okay, it is a little, it's evil, some of it is evil, but look at the good stuff that's in it, and don't the people need to hear it? And I'll tell you, Vicky, being a writer of that sort of thing, you really do struggle with that. You really do struggle with it. Like how to present this in a way that you don't then lead them to something that's wrong. Because this is what happened in Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling makes the magic look like it's wonderful. And you can use the same magic that is used for evil for good. And what that does with little children is it turns the moral order on its head. They now begin to think magic is something you could just use to get whatever you want. And magic is sorcery. Magic is sorcery. It is relying on demonic powers that are not sourced in God in order to get your way.
And just for clarification, the Harry Potter magic is that. We're not talking about sleight of hand, pulling a bunny out of a hat. We're talking about this kind of a thing. And children are very formative. It plants a curiosity in them that they need not have, and it can lead them into very, very deleterious straits. But I thank you, Vicki. I understand what you're saying, and I think that even makes it worse, to tell you the truth. But all that being said, it's always great to be with all of you on Wednesday. Sue, thank you once again for all of your good research and for being our guest every Wednesday on Women of Grace Live. And friends, we love the fact that you are listening to us. Please spread the word about our program to all of your friends and family. We like to talk about the abundant life of our Lord Jesus Christ and how to walk and live it, not how to live in this position that the world would place us in. Until we're together again, God bless you now. Bye-bye. Thanks, Sue. Bye.
Another great podcast on EWTN Podcast Central is Daily Dose of Encouragement. Patty Schneier provides insightful and inspirational thoughts each weekday. Each week has a different theme that brings spirit